we're going to pick up where we left off, kind of, because we're going to introduce some new players. A couple new players. We're going to start off with them, in fact. Speaking of new players, introduce yourself, Ryan. What's going on?
Hello, my name is Ryan. I am playing tonight. Lofter is a elfin fighter, Viking, from the Saga lands, the lands of the Lenormand kings.
Yes, you are. And I believe you're also found employ at Otari.
That's right. I joined the Otari garrison just to pick up a few coin, and been working here for a number of months, I guess.
Sounds good to me. And of course, wandering into town as well as one known as Elias. What's up, Elias? What's going on?
Nothing much. My name's Rachel, and I'll be playing Elias, who is a human champion, specifically a liberator. He had quite a rough childhood, and he's kind of on a mission to keep his word on a few promises, and he's kind of on his way to town, kind of like on a break between certain things.
Awesome. I wonder what those certain things are. Didn't tell the GM, did you? Okay. Patrick, Farly-Tel, what's going on, my friend?
Hello, once again. I am Patrick. I am returning as the elven wizard Farly-Tel. And once again, remaining in Otari on quest for personal knowledge and power, and ready to, I don't know, maybe if, just some new wanderers come in, maybe greet them with a good smile and a warm tale.
Sounds awesome. All right, so here we are in Otari. Lofter, it's been a long day. You find yourself at the Otari barracks. You can find that on the map. You saw some of your fellow guards bringing in some dwarf. Not sure what that was about. Probably give him a good rubber hose thrashing in the back. Who's to say? But needless to say, the day is starting out as it usually does. You long for something different, something new. You got some time off coming up. Later in the day, you're going to take advantage of that. Where do you go? In fact, now that you're going to have some time off from garrison duties to yourself, where do you find yourself heading to?
Probably just go have an evening drink for the tower.
Crow's casks, perhaps? Or maybe the rowdy rockfish, quite popular with some of the fellow guardsmen.
Let's see.
Or even the Crook's Nook, a rougher place, of course. Always
Yeah.
fun and games. They have some great seafood.
Which one's closest to the water? Oh yeah, you said seafood. Let's go with that one.
How about the rowdy rockfish? That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Number 17 on the map. Close down there, you can see it. All right.
It's good to check in on the informants as well.
That's it. You make your way down there, no problem. You've been here before, in fact, a few times. It's a good meal, good place to catch some drinks, maybe catch a few rumors around town of things going on. And you find yourself there now, sitting at a central table, a couple seats next to you in your little table nook. You order some food, drink, all that sort of thing. Where were you currently staying? This is a question I probably should have asked you earlier. Are you, there is a barracks, obviously. It's the Otari barracks. There is you can actually stay there. But not all the guards stay there. They actually live in Otari as well. Some of them have homes, and they stay there. But for those that don't, they can stay pretty much for free at the Otari barracks. Where are you at? Do you stay at one of these taverns? Maybe the Rowdy Rackfish? Or inn, I should say. Or do you normally reside at the barracks?
Probably just reside at the barracks, because he did never see this as like a full-time kind of thing.
Okay.
Didn't want to set roots there.
And as far as your daily routines and maintenance and all that kind of thing, how do you see yourself maintaining yourself? As a guardsman, you have to be somewhat respectable. But if you have the money, you could actually go with a more expensive lifestyle. I'm basically asking you what your daily, your maintenance is. So I got a amount of coin to deduct every month for your maintenance.
So like what?
I'm looking. Cost of living, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
There's comfortable, fine, and extravagant. And normally what I do is I make the characters pay for this on a monthly schedule and always at the start of a month. Right? And basically, when you pay this, it basically assumes that when you get your normal meals and stuff like this, you don't have to pay for it. It's already taken into account.
Gotcha.
It's just those extra expenditures, like for friends or something, that you would actually pay for.
What is the major difference between comfortable and fine?
4 gold pieces for comfortable a month. 130 gold pieces for fine a month.
Wow. Okay. I'll go comfortable. That'd be fine.
All right. Comfortable sounds good. So 4 gold pieces a month. I'll make a note of that, and you can also do that.
Okay.
And this is an addition. Well, let me see. You stay at the barracks. I'll tell you what. It'll cost you only 2 gold pieces because you're actually living at the barracks.
And it's paid for. Yeah. Good.
Yeah. And some of your food might come from there, but outside of that, all your other expenses, taxes, whatever, that's going to be 2 gold pieces per month.
Sounds good.
As long as you're staying at the barracks. And I'll make a note of that in my notes as well. Okay. Farley, I don't know if I talked to you about that, but last couple sessions I went into that with the other players. Let me check my notes here. Journal entries. Living conditions. All right, let's see. Lofter. Okay, let me record this. Lofter is staying at the barracks. So I'm going to put barracks. And cost is only 2 gold pieces a month. And where? Barracks.
Are you adding that to my biography now?
No, I'm adding it to my personal journal entry
Okay.
here for living
Just checking.
conditions.
I'll add it there.
Farly-Tel, comfortable living at Rowdy Rack. Yeah, I did cover you. All right, so you're good.
Hooray!
Yeah, you're all good. Everybody's good. All right, excellent. Got that taken care of. And again, as we play, feel free to make notes with pen and pencil for your own reference, or make a journal entry in Foundry. Record whatever you want. Describe how you arrive at Otari, where you are right now. In general terms, you don't have to be specific. I could fill in the blanks for you, but just describe this as you make your way to Otari for the first time. Where are you? What's going on?
Well, Elias doesn't have much. He's kind of on this own personal journey. So he's probably walking into town, being rather friendly, trying to have conversations with people just to get a little bit of information on the town. And he would probably go wherever they said a good drink can be found.
Rowdy Rockfish sounds like the most pleasant place. There's a few places in town that you've heard of, but the Rowdy Rockfish is probably the most
Oh,
popular.
I can't hear you. What did you say?
Can you hear me now?
I can. Yes.
The Rowdy Rockfish is the most popular in town. You gather from the rumors and asking a few people around. And that's number 17, area 17 on the map.
Does this place seem suspicious?
Very much so.
Is there any place that does not seem suspicious?
No, everything is suspicion
All
to
right.
you.
Well, he will follow the instruction that they give them by like directions wise, and he should find himself at the Rowdy Rockfish.
All right. And can you see the icons on the map?
Yes, I can.
All right. If you double click that, you'll see a nice picture, another little description of the place. That's pretty much what it looks like. It's a nice, comfortable place, actually. As you enter through the double doors, it's about midday by this time. As you enter through the double doors, you see before you a number of tables and chairs, a bar in a central position in front of you. You see a set of stairs rising to the left, perhaps to rooms. Maybe you can get some board here. You've traveled quite a ways. There's about a dozen patrons at this point, which is quite a lot in the middle of the day. You see a lot of farmer types. See a couple guards, at least they seem like guards of some type. They have this mix of green and white tabard design. They are armed. You also see this couple folks working there. One is a stout lady. Looks like the image in the description. She's a dwarf. She seems to be making her way with a large plate full of foods that smell good. Bacon, breads, all that stuff fills the air. It's very inviting.
Does she look to be struggling?
As you would imagine, she seems pretty hardy and can handle herself. She makes her way. She avoids a chair sliding out where one guy was eating and wasn't paying attention. She makes her way out of the way just in time. But otherwise, she makes her way to the destination, delivers some food to a table of guests. What do you do?
He observes, sees that she's just fine on her own, and he makes his way to an empty seat and says,
Says what?
he makes his way to an empty seat and sits down.
Plop.
Plop. Clank, clank, armor, clank.
Excellent. Excellent description. Give yourself 2 hero points. No, I'm only kidding. What I would like you to do, Ryan, is go ahead and make a public perception roll. You go ahead and make that roll.
All right.
You are a member of the Otari Guard and are very observant, especially of folks you have never seen before. As walking through this door, a warrior type dressed in some kind of fine armor. Oh, chain mail. That's what it is, of course. You don't recognize the tabard or any designs, but obviously a warrior of some type. Making their way in. Let's see what you rolled. 13. Normally perception checks are secret or blind GM checks, but I'm letting you make this one public because it's your first roll of the campaign. Congratulations. Welcome aboard. Yes, this is basically what you see come walking in. However, there's one thing that does stand out, that does catch your eye. Elias, describe something unique about your character's appearance that Lofter catches sight of. Something not necessarily hidden, but something obvious, perhaps. What stands out from your appearance?
Maybe not appearance-wise, but actions.
Actions?
He would be meticulously looking over a list.
Okay. And Lofty, you see this character come waltzing in. As a matter of fact, let me bring up this picture of this individual for everybody to see. This this is who you see waltzing in. They seem to be holding up, making some type of list, checking it, looking through certain things. What do you do? Do you do anything in particular, or just go on your way drinking? It's unusual.
I'll take a glance at him, but knowing probably he's definitely out of town. He's with the list of and just the armor, thinking, oh, he's probably one of those Pathfinders. Probably from Absalom. But I'll go back to my drink for now. But I'll keep an eye on him. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, Elias, what do? You walk into the room. Do you want a spare table? You could probably just sit down and someone might serve it. There's a bar. Would you like to go to the bar? There's a big human, tough-looking guy there. He's cleaning some plates, and washing them off, turning his back away from the patrons, turning back again and grabbing another dish it looks like he's cleaning up. There's only one patron at the bar, actually. The rest are all scattered about at little individual tables, including those guys dressed in green and white tabards. And I probably should ask you as well, Lofter, are you dressed in your uniform currently, or are you...
Yeah, I probably would have still been in my uniform, yeah.
Okay. Elias, what do? Do you go just seat yourself at a table, or are you going to the bar?
There are plenty of space at the bar. Elias would sit right down and try to grab the attention.
Okay.
Get something to drink.
As soon as you seat yourself, you want to be in a central position. There's seats everywhere. You could be close to the wall, looking out a window. There's windows you can see out.
He doesn't make any kind of preference. He could sit right in the middle, just
Right.
not directly next to the single other person there. You got to have that buffer seat.
And as soon as you seat yourself, you immediately garner the attention of that dwarven woman you first saw, almost stumbling as a chair come out close to her. And she looks over and spots you. Aye! And she comes over to you and plop, 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 plop. And she's got her little, what are they called? Put the drinks on. Her little tray. And she comes in. May I help you, my dear? What would you be looking for?
I would like a glass of your finest, cheapest wine.
The summer's ale is good. Would you like that? A mug of summer's ale?
I'll take it.
You wait.
Is
right
it
here.
summertime?
No, this is actually late spring.
Okay, so yeah, no, that's still acceptable.
Okay.
He'll take it gladly, or order it gladly.
Okay. And she makes her way off. I'll be right back. She goes off to the bar to get that drink for you. After your attention is immediately drawn once again to the new patron that just entered in. Again, an unusual person. You don't know if you should be suspicious or not. She's not far away, actually, maybe 10 feet from your table. There is that buffer between. But you did get your attention taken by that person again because of the dwarf making such loud noise. Brelda, who is the owner of the place. You know her. Anything? You do anything?
I was trying to think of what dialogue to... Give me a minute here.
And as you're sitting there, you also notice behind you appears the two fellow guards from the barracks. You recognize them. You've worked with them before, but they also approach and they come up to your table
Okay.
What are you doing here? You're off work.
Just taking a break, just resting. What's up, guys?
You said you still have your uniform on, right?
Yeah.
Well, they're basically curious why you're still in uniform.
Oh,
But yeah, mind if we have a seat with you?
sure. Have a seat.
And they pull up beside you, and they got their drinks in hand, and they sit with you there, and they start making small talk with you, talking about the day so far and things going on like that. Your attention briefly taken from the new persona to enter the tavern. Elias, you sit there. Not long. Here comes the dwarf woman. She brings over your little drink. Here you go, my dear. You enjoy it. Whereabouts are you from? I've never seen you before.
That makes sense because I'm not from around here. I'm from a distant land.
What might that be, my dear?
Oh, it's called Distant Land.
I've heard of that place, actually, yes.
Oh, not many people have.
Okay,
Hopefully.
deduct 1 hero point, please. Next. Not very creative, I'm sorry. Got it. Okay, so she's making some small talk with you. At this point, go ahead.
Mhm.
What?
Oh, Elias was just going to mention, what about Distant Lands do you remember? I have only terrible memories from that place, and I am glad I am long gone.
Would it be Absalom, would it? Absalom, of course, is a couple days to the east of Otari. It's the city at the center of the world's greatest city.
It could be. I did not live there long. Anytime I traveled, it wasn't by my say, but by somebody else's, an adult. But I've been traveling on my own for quite some time now. Maybe I'll return one day and double check and see if that is the same place. What was the city called again?
Absalom.
Absalom.
With an M. Absalom.
Ah.
And Absalom is not far. It's actually to the east of Otari on the Starstone Isle. Yeah, so it wouldn't be uncommon for someone to have come from there or want to journey there, it being the city at the center of the world, or so it is known. So there is that. At this point, Elias, you're in this little small talk conversation with your comrades, and one of the comrades, one of your friends there, he's looking over at the new clientele, the same person that drew your interest. Who's that then? That's somebody new in town. You seen them?
Yeah, they just walked in.
Yeah.
Not sure.
We should go over and question them. Hey, you're off duty. We'll handle this.
Wait a minute.
Yeah?
Just don't rough them up.
And they say, yeah, don't worry about it. We're going to check them. We're still at work. Yeah, we're going to go over there. And they wander off in the direction of the newcomer. Elias, you're sitting there looking at your list in one hand, sipping your drink. It's pretty good. It's actually pretty good. And suddenly you feel a hand touch your left shoulder firmly.
Elias gets a little shiver. Ooh.
Oh, indeed. You abruptly look up to your left and see these two guards kind of look down at you. Who might you be? You're new here in town. Where do you hail from?
My name is Elias, and I've come from distant land, but most recently...
Distant Lands is popular. Wow. Come on.
It's the new up-and-coming Otari. So he responds to the guards, my name's Elias. Please remove your hand from my shoulder, respectfully. I come from possibly a town east, but most recently I've come from a temple of Caden,
Ah,
which is
the elven god. Oh, so you're a holy person.
yes, I am.
All right. Of course,
I've
Caden is actually quite popular here. And they also inform you while you're in this little discussion that there's actually a shrine. I believe it's at the Crow's Casks, another tavern. They actually have a shrine there. Go there, take a drink. Rah!
no wonder I
Celebrations.
was drawn to this place.
Yeah. So they're just basically being a little curious as to who you are, asking a few basic questions. Nothing too concerning, I would think.
Naturally, in return, he asks who they are, even if they're in uniform.
They describe to you, well, not describe, they inform you that they are the members of the Otari Guard here in town. And you make a mental note of that uniform of white and green being an indication of that, because they are uniformed. And you see a third one not far behind them, seated, kind of looking in that direction, or are you?
Yeah, at this point I am. Just keeping an eye, making sure they don't mess with him too much.
I hope I'm not causing any trouble here in the town. I was only passing through, but sometimes I stay if help is needed.
Am I in earshot?
You are.
Okay, I'll get up and saunter over,
Yes.
kind of join the other guys.
There you go.
I get up and
Yeah.
go up to Elias and introduce myself and the other grunts.
And what does that look like? What are you saying?
Sorry. Name's Lofter, and did we name these two? Do you know, were these possibly the two guys I was working with? The one shot?
No, these are not those guys. One is Sven and Michel.
Okay.
So Sven and Michel.
All right. This is Sven and Michel. And would I be their superior?
You would.
Okay.
You have a non-commissioned type of rank equivalent, you could say. Like
Yeah.
not like a full-on sergeant type, but a corporal. You know, that kind of thing. You're a little bit above by one notch the other guys. So sometimes you're on patrol and you're the guy they look to kind of take charge if necessary. So there's a little bit of respect there for you. So you do have that for you, particularly over these two individuals who don't have that rank as you. So you do have that edge.
So then, yeah, after I introduce us, I'll ask Elias. So, what brings you into town?
Well, I'm on a personal quest myself, but I've just come in here for a little bit of rest from the ordinary roughing it. And so
Understood.
far, I'm impressed by this drink. And he takes another sip.
Excellent.
And
Yeah.
he kind of looks around in your hands. Are any of them holding a drink themselves? Or did you guys leave it on the table?
Oh, I probably would have been holding mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a tankard.
The other two left their drinks at the table, but it's only a short little pace to go over and get them or bring them over, which they casually do since this conversation is kind of toned down into a more comfortable conversation. But they have their eyes on you.
Well, if I don't say so, that this has been rather interesting, but not terrible greeting into the city. Let's toast to good health and happy adventures.
Agreed. And they put up their
Clink.
clink. Little chuckle. lay down their drinks.
Sounds good. Well, welcome to Otari.
Yes, welcome to Otari, new friend. I don't know if they're calling you friend, but welcome to Otari.
Since I'm here, do you mind explaining what there is to do around? I'm very new.
Sven, would you like to help with that?
Oh, excellent.
What are you looking for? What is your particular interest? Are you more interested in book reading? There is the library of the Dawnflower. Lots of reading and material there. You can go. A lot of travelers go there just for to research things. It also functions as a place to worship the Seren Ray, the Dawnflower herself. There's also shrines to other deities, including Caden. Also.
Particularly, I'm looking for something that will kind of fill up my coin purse. And he kind of like opens it, and you see he's got like nothing in there really. It's been hard living out on my own, and I could use with some work to get some coin.
So you're looking for work? You might want to check the help boards. In every tavern, and this is common throughout Galarian, most taverns and even some inns have what's called basically a help wanted post. People will post things like, I have an infestation of rats in my basement, help, or I need renovations in my barn, or I need bodyguards on a long journey to the north. And you can often look at that and find little easy jobs, particular interest to those of the adventuring sort. There is one here at the Rowdy Rockfish, right near the entrance to the right, not through the portal, but as soon as you step through the portal, there's like a little hallway. It goes about 5-6 feet, and then it enters into the big chamber where everybody is seated. Well, to the right of that little short portal is a little board, and it's facing towards the patrons. So as you look towards the portal, you could see it. And do you want to go check it out?
Yes, he kindly excuses himself. Once again, thanks you for the welcome. And he says, I am going to go look at that board.
And
Sounds good. If you have any trouble, just come find one of us.
Actually, I wouldn't mind one of you helping me out. I don't want to accidentally pick the wrong kind of job, if you know what I mean.
Sure, I got this. You guys, you go back to your drinks if you want.
Yeah, whatever. Sure. Okay. And I should point out that this is up to you to reveal, Lofter, but the Otari garrison, the barracks, they're always looking for new recruits. There's always that. It's up to you if you want to share that or not.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I'll. I can say that as we're walking up to it.
Right. And as you walk up to the board and you see all these, there's quite a few things on there. Some things stand out more than others. There is, in fact, that one about the barn renovation going on. There's one with that always popular rat infestation in the basement. And as you look at this, all is a daze. Blackness and shadows envelop you. Farly, you're not sure what's going on. Your memories are faint. Your arms are scratched. You can feel blood, sweat, dripping from your forehead. You find yourself waking up, opening your eyes. No longer dark, but shadowy. You're in an alleyway. You listen. Yeah, you can hear voices. Just in the distance. Where am I? What is this? You look to the left, you look to the right. The smell is overwhelming, the smell of rotten decay. But you hear people in the distance. Looking to the right, you recognize you're in some kind of alleyway. It's all coming back to you. You're starting to stand up now. You were laying down in some puddle of mud and muck. You begin to move towards the opening in the alleyway, out of this dark, shadowy realm. You don't know what's going on. You were with your friends. Ramirez, yes, Ramirez. Your next thought is to Morlablant. Morlablant, I gotta find him. Where am I? And as you step out into the street of the alley, you start to recognize signs, faces, buildings. It's Otari. How did I get here? How did I get back to Otari? And you start trying to remember, where were you? Where were you just minutes before? You were in some dark cavern of sorts. Ramirez was there. He was leading the way. He had found some kind of secret passage. You tried to stop him and take your time before entering, but he went ahead anyway, and you followed suit. You remember the goblin. What was his name? Neb was his name. He kept talking about some type of food, a fungus or something. He's always nibbling on something. Yeah, that's Neb. It starts to come back to you slowly. As you stand there, fully enveloped by the sunlight now, you see yourself in Otari, your home. Who are you? You're not quite sure. You hear a voice cry out to your right. The child with an elderly woman. You recognize her. She's a patron of Morlablant's. She's come in many times. Curious. Confirming that you are in Otari. What's going through your head now? What are you thinking? What's going on?
Oh, Farly is Farley is probably having not positive flashbacks to their life. Back when they were and a student at their like Arcane Academy, and having worked in seedier, darker situations, and having been part of the darker sides of towns. This isn't unfamiliar to them, but there is definitely a weirder sensation to this, that they realize that they're in familiar yet unfamiliar territory here. And seeing that old patron of Morlablant's, they are going to slowly hobble over, covering their eyes from the bright light and still adjusting to it, and go, This is Otari still, correct?
Are you asking this?
Yeah, I'm asking them directly.
Just anybody off the street, or you going up to the old lady? She's a bit distant from you. You'd have to be quick about it. But just randomly, somebody off the street. Who are you? They can verify Yeah, this is Otari. They don't recognize you. It's at that moment you reach up to your face and you feel that you've got caked mud. You try to scrape it off and it's blood. You have blood all over your hands. You look at your arms, you could see there's scratches and tears in your flesh. You've been bleeding quite profusely. And you're essentially very confused. If you recall from the previous episode, you were in this situation. I'll go over it a little bit for you, but you were in this almost like a prison cell. You had all your equipment, you had all your stuff, you were surrounded by darkness, only a candle lit your way. And you remember peering out this open window in the portal that you couldn't open. There was no hatch or anything on your side. And what you could see was possibly other doors. And it was barred, this portal. And you heard something shifting and moving in the distance and then cackling. There was a rumble under your feet, like the earth itself was shaking with some kind of power. And all of a sudden, the little creature, which you couldn't see, was kind of in the shadows, cackled and ran away. And you went back into the darkness and you sat there. The rest is a blur. You don't remember what happened. Fast forward, perhaps, you were suddenly thrust here in this situation where you're in Otari, which has been verified, as far as you know. Yeah. You get the sense that is this some kind of dream or what? You're not sure what's going on, but one thing is for certain. You can feel, you can touch, and you've got blood on your face and your arms, and it's as real as can be at this moment in time. Now, you've got some senses about you. It's coming back to you the more you sit around there. And as this new reality hits you, your options are pretty simple. Morlablint comes to mind. Your friends that were staying at the Rowdy Rockfish, and where you're currently staying, actually. There's still confusion. You don't know what happened, and you just vaguely remember that the name Rin and the Gauntlight and the strange glow. And then I want you to make a blind recall knowledge. No, not a recall knowledge. That's an action. I want you to make a blind. Give me a perception. Blind perception. You remember, as you make your way through the streets, kind of wandering, not sure where you're going to go, you kind of remember Rin Savixi. Yes, Rin Savixi. She hired you. And it all slowly starts coming back to you. You remember that name, and you remember where she lives, and you're actually not far from there. It's actually just 1 block away, behind you. Let me see, can I ping on this map? No, I can't. I have it disabled. But, oh, there it is. Can you see the ping?
Yeah.
Where is she? Oh, there she is. She's down here. Yeah, you're like right up on that street. So you're that one street up. You can head down there. That's where she was. She was the one that hired you. Mortablint is across the way. I think it's over here. Odd Stories where you worked. And of course, you know where the Rowdy Rockfish is. That's where you and your friends are. But you're not sure if they're there or not or what's going on. So which direction do you want to head? That's pretty much the only thing you could think of at this point. Just give me a direction. What do you think?
Yeah, I would probably try to head towards probably towards Rin, actually.
All right, that's really close.
Well, I actually, if I'm covered in blood and mud and dirt, then I'd probably try somehow clean myself off at least a bit.
The river. It's right there.
Yeah.
Water.
Yeah.
It's plenty. Okay.
And then head to Ren.
All right. Good idea. So you make your way down towards the little river that passes through, and you can kind of clean yourself up. And while you're doing that, shooting back to the Rowdy Rockfish, we have Elias, Lofter. And they're looking over the board. Again, you see all these little pamphlets and little advertisements looking for help. Each of you give me a D6. Flat check. Just roll a D6, no modifiers. It's public. And I want to see those rolls. Let's see what you get. You both make these. D6. You can use your dice tray for this below the chat area. Rachel?
Oh, I thought I did. I hit public roll.
Yeah.
Oh, you did. You did. I got it.
Yes.
I got it.
Yes, my rolls have not improved from when we first were testing them.
There's a couple things you find that might be of most interest. One, Lofter. You see one there you've seen many times, and you point it out to your newfound friend, perhaps. It's somebody, a pilgrim of sorts. You kind of get the gist of it, looking for someone to help them on a journey, kind of like a bodyguard type of thing, a caravan type guard work. They're traveling to the far north, however, to one of the ports that goes to the mainland of the inner sea. That may or may not be of interest to you, Elias. I'm not sure, but it's going to pay some coin, about 5 gold pieces, to travel from Otari, about a week's journey to the north, to a port city, and that's it. The other one, which you find, Elias, one that has a strange symbol scratched at the bottom. You don't recognize. It looks like it might be some kind of signature, so you don't know who it's for. You'd have to ask around about that. Maybe your newfound friend, perhaps, could help with that. But it's somebody asking to help find a missing trinket of sort that was lost in the woods to the north. Some type of trinket. What do you do?
I point to the symbol and I ask Lofter, does this look, familiar to you? Have you ever seen this before? Do you know who the signature belongs to?
What's your perception modifier, Lofter?
Checking. Hold on. +8.
Wow. Okay. You immediately recognize it. That's Rin Savixi. She's well known to be an eccentric of type, an elven tiefling, you believe. But she's pretty well known. She's eccentric and a gossiper, and she's into these odd magical type things and readings. She reads the stars. It's one of her professions, actually. Relative newcomer to the town. Yeah, she has a little business called Rin's Wonders to the north.
How much does that one pay?
This one pays...
Is there a price? Or is it just a call for help?
It says
Any good Samaritan.
Says half up front, half if found. And price to be determined. So it's something you have to discuss.
Yeah, Rin's a bit of an odd one, but possibly, might pay well. And you can stay in town a little bit longer. Otherwise, that other one, you'd be heading up north, which is probably still good, but you got options. And we'll always take seasonal work, with the guard. So
I imagine it's decent, but not much. But that said, you do get the perks of a uniform, some training, and of course a barracks to stay in if you don't want to pay for upkeep elsewhere. But, yeah.
Elias has been kind of camping outside of town. He has a tent in his backpack. He does.
I'll make a note of that. Is that what you want to do?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's just what his sleeping arrangements are.
Right.
So he's kind of looking towards helping the trinket because he's made himself a little bit familiar with the woods up top. Not great, but just enough to where he might get some sleep.
All right. Let me roll the dice here because we're... let me roll another one. Okay. Oops. There. All right, so what do you want to do? It's still midday, so you can head up there if you want. You know
Sure,
where it is, Lofter. You could show her anywhere in town. You're very familiar with the layout of the town, so you know where she's at if you want to help her.
Yeah, Elias asked Lofter if he could assist him just to find his way around because he has no clue who this Rin is, where she's living, anything like that. So if he has time on his hands,
not a problem.
he doesn't have anything to offer, but
I'm heading up there after I finish this drink anyway, so not a problem.
All right.
All right.
Yep, Elias also finishes his drink.
Glug, glug, glug,
and
glug,
pays.
glug.
How much is my tab?
2 copper.
Oh, thank God. Okay, I can afford that.
That was easy. It's actually 1 copper. Yeah, 2 copper.
1 for the drink and 1 for the tip.
Yes, this was the summer ale. That's a little bit more expensive. So, yeah, 2 copper. And we'll figure out your cost of living arrangements. You could, if you want, sleep out in the woods. It's not unusual. We'll leave it at that. But it's not unusual. You could do that. We'll still pay a cost of living.
He's going to roll to subsist.
4 silver pieces a week.
Okay. Oh, I cannot afford that.
Now, you know what it is? It's 2 gold pieces a month to subsist. That's what Lofter's spending because he lives at the barracks. But he's eating good, I think.
And actually has a bed instead of a bed roll.
That's true.
All right.
Do I need to mark anything for my drink too, or how's that?
No, you're fine.
Or you want to track? Okay. All right.
You're fine with that. So if you're ready, we'll shoot you up there and you can lead your newfound friend, perhaps, to Rin Civixies.
Acquaintance.
Farley. You're feeling much better, much clearer. The water feels good. It's cold, but it wakens you up even more. It's definitely real. You're not in some dream. You are in Otari. You've got your whereabouts going on, and you decided that you're going to head to Rin Civixie. Find out what's going on. Where's my friends? What happened? What mystery is going on? And report to her whatever you found out so far. And we'll tackle that when we get to it. But you make your way to Rin Civixie's in short order. It's about noon, midday. You knock on the portal. It creaks open. And there's that familiar face. Rin Civixie. Let me grab her portrait. The door creaks open. You step inside. She looks almost like in shock, like as if she can't believe. She knows you and her actually have met in the past. Because you've actually lived and worked in Otari, and you know a little bit about Rin. You also know that Rin and Morlablint don't necessarily get along too well. But anyway, your former employer. But anyway, she greets you, and she looks really surprised. She invites you in. She offers you a cup of ale. What happened, my friend? Where are your friends? Where is the suspicious one with the hood? She starts asking you, where's your friends? What did you find out? What happened? And I want you to roll a d20 flat. This can be public.
Yeah, okay. Oh, that's blind. Whoops.
It's okay. We'll take it. I'll tell you what it is. I'll show you what it is. I'm going to show you your fantastic roll.
2.
Close.
Oh my. All right.
All right. As hard as you try, the names are familiar, but it's not clicking. You don't remember what happened. The last thing you recall, you remember being attacked by this great scorpion-like creature, and you overcame it with relative ease. In fact, suspiciously so. You found this body, this secret room. You remember Ramirez and that door that he found. And again, you tried to stop him, but in his eagerness to lead, he went down that strange corridor and disappeared, and you followed shortly thereafter. And the rest, at that point, that's it. You don't remember. You have no clue about the Gauntlight itself and that mysterious glow, which comes back to you, and she can remind you, because that was your mission. If you remember, you as a player, your mission was to investigate that strange glow and what it was all about. But yeah, that's what you can recall. And I assume you reveal that to her, correct?
Yeah. The strange glow at the lighthouse, right?
Yeah, you remember that, right?
Yeah.
This faint blue glow that was really hard to see and can only be seen at night. Not everybody could see it, but you could see it with your keen eyesight, what it is to be an elf.
Yeah.
What's your reaction to this so far?
I believe Farly and Rin are basically like sort of in like, it's almost as if like they're trying to write a story together, and like each other is like helping them follow along the path. And then
you and Rin?
Yeah, it's almost as like we're both recalling. Like Rin is giving some details about when they left, and then I'm filling in some of the blank spots. And then once it hits Ramirez getting, for lack of a better term, possessed, everything just goes blank. And for Farley, that's just jaw-dropping, like, confusing to them. And they sort of just keep shaking their head, trying to, like, recall the events, rerun it in their head, see if they can, like, figure it out by, like, almost like a roll of film is missing in their mind.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's just, nope, nothing's popping up.
All right. Well, let me look at something real quick. Being as that you are under her hire, and someone she knows and somewhat trusts, being of elven blood, though she possesses the demonic seed. While you're seated at the table, across from her, her hands reach out. And she touches your fingers. And stops. And you can feel it's a cold touch. A cold touch that suddenly gets warm. Gets hotter. Almost like fire. You feel like pulling away, but you can't. You feel a magical energy. You can feel it and sense it because you too are accustomed to magic and its ways. And you feel at ease and very comfortable. And as this energy begins to flow into you, up your arms and up into your shoulders, into your head, you can feel the warmth embrace you. It's comforting. It feels good. And you feel somewhat invigorated. Your mind becomes much more clearer at this point. And with that, you are able to suddenly get a clear mind. And you remember what happened. What I do want you to do, though, I want you to make recall knowledge with... I'll let you use... I want to give you a choice here. Go ahead and try medicine or nature. Occultism. Nature and occultism, your choice. One's wisdom, one's intelligence based. So whichever one you're higher in, you can use for this.
Yeah, well, one is +1 and one is +8.
Let me guess.
+1 all the way.
Yeah. Well, you're not insane.
And this will be private. This will be not private. This will be a GM blind roll. So.
Okay.
Occultism, right?
Yep.
Mysterious and unknown. Now, this isn't directly related, but it plays a role in what you're about to have revealed to you. Particularly occultism is actually really on point for this. And as these things become clear to you, you begin to reveal to her in detail what you remember happened when the moment you arrived at the Gauntlet, from the moment you entered that chamber, the gremlin type creatures. You also reveal to her the mysterious, this is where the occult details come in, the mysterious alcove that you had found. And you, and only you, had figured out this was an alcove of some type of, it was a portal, a magical portal that somehow one of its components was broken into and removed. There was all these runic type symbols of magic around it, and you deciphered that this is a portal, you guys. But it doesn't work anymore. In some strange magic you've never seen before, ancient perhaps. And you describe all the details that up to the point that you remember as a player before suddenly it went black. Now, the details, and again, this is where the occult stuff comes in. From what you can recall, in your dream state, let's say, there's one little detail that just comes to your mind now. You reveal it to her, I think. This is up to you. During this state where you were in this cell, lying prone with your hands outstretched, cold, and that strange creature that was outside, during that whole time that you were laying there, you heard a voice. A sinister voice. Male, female, you couldn't tell. Demonic, evil, you could feel its presence. And it was very powerful. And it wasn't so much you laying there, prone, as you being held in place. And the voice would come through one side of your head, pierce into your brain, circulate through your body, this heat. The voice was traveling inside of you. And whispers of some arcane words were being said, one of which was the name. And you recognized this as a name, Belcora. Belcora. The name Belcora. And you remember this from the tales of the Gauntlight and Rin Savixi, her herself explaining to her some of that information about Belcora. The voice. Was it Belcora? Some minion, some dark, evil presence that entered your body, and the whispers and strange speakings with the word Belcora, the name Belcora. And then it would fade away, and you remember awakening from this, and that's when you would find the candle and look out and peer out and see what's going on. You were in some kind of prison of a sort. Also, something else clicks in your mind. The candle that you can remember while in your cell. The one that would not burn out. The wax it didn't melt. Right? It was a constant burning flame. There was symbolic runes carved into the actual candle wax itself. It did not fade. It did not go away. You felt them at first, just wax, but you remember in your mind what they felt like. And that feeling left images in your brain. And those very images, those runes, somehow are connected with that voice and the images that you saw. Somehow it's all tied together, you start to think. The symbols on the candle, the runes, the voice, and the skull. You start to remember the skull that Ramirez at first identified that when you fought that what was it, a centipede? A giant creature? Remember that skull on the door, overgrown with not with weeds, but actual weeds carved into the skull itself. The symbol that was on the door. Somehow that played a role in it. And you're piecing these various things together, the skull, Belcora, the runes, the magic, all these occultish type mysteries of things you don't know what they are. You don't know who Belcora really is, what she was connected to, or what dark, menacing gods are involved with this. You don't know, but these are the feelings that you get once your mind is cleared up, thanks to Rin. And do you have any questions about this? Because I know it's been a while since you played. I could kind of fill you in on things I might have forgot about what happened, Ramirez and that.
So, the name Belcora was whispered in my mind whenever the light touched me from the lighthouse?
No. When you remember in the last session, you were in this, like a cell, the stone cell. You were surrounded by darkness. You couldn't see the walls. You only saw the candle.
Yeah.
You were initially laying prone with your arms outstretched. Remember that?
Yeah.
And then you got up and you reached for the candle and you explored a little bit. And then you went back and you sat down. Well, this repeated itself. You were waking up while from being in this prone position. What I'm saying to you is that while you were in this prone position, it was almost like you were being held down. And you don't know how, you don't know when or how it occurred, but you couldn't get up until after this voice and feeling would subside. And that's when you'd get up and grab the candle. It feels almost like this was a sequence repeating itself over and over and over again. But again, you get the sense it was like some kind of dream. It wasn't altogether real and didn't certainly make any sense. While you were laying there prone, motionless, that's when you would feel the presence of this voice and hear it, and so on.
Okay.
and then it would go away. And when it went away, you were able to get up, explore. You ever see Groundhog Day?
Yeah.
Yeah. Repeats itself. Same thing. That's what you sense. But yeah. I'll remind you one other thing. You do remember that Ramirez found that passageway. And with excitement, he said, "Look at this, guys." And he goes running in. And you remember following him. And you remember it's like it took forever. You were going down this set of steps. He would not stop. He's leading the way, and it just went on and on and on and on and on. And eventually, all you remember at this point is suddenly you're in front of this big dial, this pedestal. And you don't remember how or anything about it, but you remember Ramirez staring into it like he's trying to solve some puzzle, spinning dials, matching numbers with letters in this big dial thing, this big black iron dial thing at the foot of these steps that seemed endless. You followed him down. It didn't make sense to you. You tried to shake him out of it. He wasn't coming out of it. He was like obsessed. After that, you don't remember what happened. That was it. And your recollection of Sigrid, Neb, and Mariendel is just that somehow they were there, but you don't recall exactly what they were doing. And at that point, you don't remember anything except that little laying prone thing in the room alone. And that's about it. That's about it. Now, you can reveal this all to her. Then, as you're going through this, there's a rap on the door. 1 second. She leaves the table and she goes over to the door and she makes her way to the door and she begins to pull it open. And there, Lofter, you see the face. May I help you? Of Rin Civixi. She invites you. Oh, well, she asks you what you would want. How do you reply?
Afternoon, Rin. This is...
You were one of those guards that works at the barracks. You have the uniform.
Yes,
okay.
I'm Lofter.
How may I convenient you?
Well, me and my new associate here, Elias, was looking for possibly helping with the job board position. That came. How do I say that?
You just show it to her.
Saw the mark. Yeah, saw the thing on the job board in the bar. Wanted to help out with it.
Yes. Give me a moment. You wait here. And she closes the door slightly. She looked at the little paper and she recognized it immediately. That's obviously her mark. She comes back over to you, Farley. I have some business to attend to. Please, relax yourself. May I get you another tea?
Yeah, and please, if you don't mind, give me another cup or two.
Two? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
She'll quickly bring one in lightning fashion and pours it for you, and you're all set. And then she comes back to the door, Lofter. She opens it a little wider and more inviting. Well, please, won't you come in? And she invites you in this semi-dark room. It's kind of shadowy, but you see all kinds of books on one side of the wall, trinkets on the other, all kinds of odd trinkets, to say the least. Books scattered about. You would know, Lofter, that she actually makes a business of strange arcane things and sells them and collects them, all kinds of trinkets and things. You see things like necklaces and keychains, of course the books I mentioned, strange candelabras, small, close to the wall, vase, various plates, and all kinds of things that have something odd about them. Perhaps that's what she sells. She's also well known as someone who reads the stars. You know that as well. And can provide various magical services. You know that. She invites you into the room, And you'll excuse me, I have a friend seated here with me. He will not be a bother. She pulls you close to the one side of the wall, looks at the little paper and verifies the signature and says, "Ah, yes, yes. I lost one of my items. A silver necklace of sorts. It's not the biggest thing. It's actually kind of difficult to find. But if you're willing to search for that, I'd be willing to pay you a good coin for it. It is not far. I could kind of give you directions where it was lost. That's all I really require." And then she pauses. "However, I might have something of more interest of your type." And she looks closely at you, Elias. And she kind of locks eyes with you. You sense almost like she's peering into your soul for a brief moment. You feel like you're being read.
He welcomes it. He's also half distracted by everything that's adorning her walls.
Okay. Let me see something real quick. Oh, okay. Yes, you definitely feel like something is reading you. Like Sven is actually peering into your mind, like she's reading you, sensing something about you. It's some kind of magic. But it's not evil. You can't resist, however. And then she pulls away, and her eyes look once more on you, Lofter. "Your friend, I have never seen him before. Pardon me." And she looks to you, Elias. "What is your name?"
He introduces himself again. And he says, "What an interesting place you have here."
Did I miss your initial introduction? I must have totally missed it.
I actually said it. Said the name
okay.
on his behalf.
Sorry. You can tell she senses something about you, Elias. And she's taken a great interest in you. I do have something that might be more to your liking. The Gauntlet. You know about the Gauntlet, yes. Now, Lofter, you know all the rumors and basics about the Gauntlet and the things about it. It's history and that sort of thing. And you could easily tell Elias these things, because he is pretty new to the region. And in fact, Sven is willing to actually share that. And what I'll give you is I'll tell you that if you click on the Gauntlet, for instance, on the map, it's on the upper left corner, Elias, and I guess Lofter, I don't know if you missed this or not, but all the basic knowledge is there about this Gauntlet. And when the fog is creeping and the moon is low, when the town is sleeping, the Gauntlet starts to glow. And she goes on and she relates this little rhyme that's commonly told to children and passed around people to people in Otari. But essentially, this mysterious place was built by one known as Belcora, an outcast of Absalom, someone of absolute evil intent. She was tracked down by what was known as the Rose Guard. This was an adventuring group of heroes. I say heroes because the town itself was created by them after they had defeated Belcora. One of its members, who had been slain in the battle with Belcora, was named Otari. This information is pretty common knowledge. Of course, it's new to you, Elias. And that's what you know about the Gauntlet. And Sven, she mentions that there has been a strange glow emitting from the the Lighthouse, the Gauntlight, which is not functional anymore. I mean, it was built 500 years ago. What's going on here? There's this strange glow she sees, and the heroes of Otari, of the ones that have disappeared. And that's another little story I could probably fill you in on. But recently there was a bunch of heroes, and they're called the heroes of Otari now. They're not big heroes, but they slew a dragon dwelling under Otari. For you see, Otari is riddled with all kinds of caves and caverns underneath it. And it's a good thing, because it prevents the town from being flooded. Heavy rains, they are close to the ocean. So it's a tolerated thing. Well, under there supposedly was a green dragon, and these heroes who had come to Otari evidently slew this dragon and brought up evidence of it. Scales and claws. And with that, suddenly, Farly-Tel slides his chair backwards, looks towards the conversation. Farley, what do you say at this point? You hear this description of green scales and teeth. You definitely remember that.
I go, oh, you're talking about the dragon, right? And I hold up. If you remember, I had actually turned some of the scale and dragon claws into a necklace. So I just reach into my longer mage-like robes and pull out the necklace, and you can just see like some of the claws just hanging off the string.
Yeah, let me look at your equipment sheet here.
Or not claws, but nails.
Are they in your backpack? Where are they? I don't see them. Where's your backpack stuff? Oh, there it is.
There. Yep.
Yep. When you awoke, you didn't have anything with you. Your staff, your backpack, it was gone. You remember it. You remember you had it, especially in the cell, which was unusual. But when you woke up here in the streets in this back alley, you don't even know how you got here, but you don't have this stuff anymore. But you do remember it. So for the moment, all your equipment here, just assume is, not there, but you can remember it all.
Important question here.
Yes. Where's my stuff?
No, where's my spellbook?
That's a good question. That also, let's see where you keep it. Spellbook. You had that. That was on your person. Unless you had it in your stash, which I don't think you did. I think you had that with you. You would have it with you.
All right, yeah, I just keep it on me.
Tucked away in your backpack, wherever. But you had it.
Yeah. Is it still there?
In your backpack?
Do I have it on my person?
No.
Okay.
You have nothing. The only thing you have is your robes and your clothes, and that's about it. You don't have any of your stuff.
And your pretty smile.
Yeah. Okay, so a little backtracking here. So I still say that I created a necklace out of those dragon scales and teeth. And I go reach in my robes, and I just start feeling around, and I feel around more and more, and I suddenly realize I don't have anything on me.
Yeah, I imagine for you that's pretty scary because of that spell book, especially. That's like, oh. So yeah, I think at this point Farley would be like, he'd break out into another sweat, like, oh boy, what happened to my spell book? That's everything.
Elias
Wow.
is just patiently waiting for this necklace. Like, oh, I want to see. I've never seen dragon scales or claws or whatnot up close before.
I could see Farley standing up abruptly and just patting his chest and his pants and his boots, taking his boots off, whatever.
Yeah. Farley's having a full panic attack right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you guys see this, and so does Vryn. How do you guys respond to that? Elias and Laughter?
He like blatantly dressed as like a wizard.
Faker! Faker! He's a faker!
I just stand there puzzled and kind of wait for a reaction from everybody else.
Yeah, I actually did want to ask. Is he still showing like he's all bloody from? Or oh no, he cleaned up in the river, didn't he?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, just let's see, friend, where is all your? Gosh, what am I gonna say here?
My equipment?
Yeah.
I own.
When did you last have them?
Yeah. Well, that's a good question, actually. I suppose I don't really know that, to be honest with you. I'm not gonna lie. Right now, I'm hanging on the edge of a deep, dark pit, and it's bottomless, my guy, my friend. So, I'm just gonna... It appears I've lost my equipment, and I'm losing my mind in about 3 seconds. So, it appears the new quest here, my friends, my new friends, Enrin, Tyron, is we're gonna find my stuff because I'm going to kill the person that took my stuff. And you're tagging along now because, sorry.
What's your alignment again?
Am I chaotic? I think I'm. Oh, I'm neutral. Good. Never mind.
Okay.
I thought I was chaotic. Good. Never mind.
Did you accidentally forget this or were it taken from you?
That's a good question. I'm pretty sure it was taken from me.
Let's get him.
Elias.
Elias is all in.
Yep, pulls out her sword, swings it back and forth a few times. Let's go. The last you can recall was when you were in that cell. You did have your stuff, and that's the last you remember having your stuff. But like I said, that was a repeating cycle you feel that just kept happening when you'd wake up and just repeat the same thing over and over again. The candle, looking out, the quake. And you'd have your stuff. Your staff was there, and you'd lay down, and then it would black out. You'd wake up prostrate on the floor again. But you had your equipment. After this, you don't know what happened. Suddenly you're in the streets, and you don't have anything. It's almost like as if you were lifted up and just ravaged and just dropped in the streets somewhere.
Yeah, I was mugged.
Yeah. And that's about it. That's all you can remember at this point. You don't know if it was a dream or if it was reality, something that happened, and yeah, all that other stuff that happened too. You don't know. A mystery. But also keep in mind, there's a lot of options in front of you right now. There's Morlablint, there's Barrick, the dwarf, there's the Dawnflower Library, which you've been to. Answers could be anywhere. They could be in the Gauntlight. The biggest question is, where's my spell book? Next would be, where's my friends? Ramirez and not Farly-Tel, you're Farly-Tel. Ramirez and Sigurd, Mariandel, Neb. What happened to them? It's just all one big confusing mess that you don't have answers for. So the rest is up to you, my friend. What would you like to do? And think about that as Elias and Lofter, you see this little drama unfolding. Rin is looking intently towards this elf and also towards you, wondering what is happening. And you're confused as well. However, as this begins to go on and so on and so forth, she calms Farly-Tel. She comes over to you, Farley. Look, my friend, relax, be seated. We shall find out what happened. It's okay. And how do you react? Are you still going crazy or what? Do you take her advice?
Yeah, I'm... I appear calm at the moment.
All right. Okay. And as you seat back down and you have your tea in front of you, you can still sip, and that helps a little bit. But your mind is starting to swirl, going 100 miles an hour, and you're just oblivious to what's going on around you. Sven turns back to you, Elias. I would ask you a favor. And you're strong of sword, if you have the time. And she looks to you, Lofter. I would ask you to help my friend. You see, he is one of the original heroes of Otari, the beaters of the dragon. And I hired him and his friends to investigate this mystery at the Gauntlet.
Really?
If you would, I would ask you to also take up this quest and help me and him as well. I'm sure he will be okay, but give him some time. He could lead you to the Gauntlet safely, and you could continue this. I'm sure his book is there, perhaps. So she's basically offering you an opportunity for 5 gold pieces. She'll put forward for you guys if you want to take it. That would be your payment, half now, half later, to go back and look for this book and look for the other heroes and see what's happened. But that's up to you. Farley, you're a different case. If you want to go back, it's up to you. She understands if you don't. She could release you from your little agreement if you don't want to go back, and she can understand completely. But that's up to you. She does offer you, Elias, and Lofter, if you have the time to take up this little journey, find out what's going on, at least with the Gauntlet. So that's up to you.
Elias accepts. He says he'll investigate at the very least.
And what are you? You don't know this, you guys, but you're a liberator, right, Elias?
Yeah.
You accept. Go ahead, Lofter.
Yeah, he kind of thinks about it for a little bit and then says, my other guys can handle things in town for a while. This sounds like something serious that if we goes ignored, could be something worse on our hands. So sure, let's go with it.
Okay. All right, if you guys want to take this up and make preparations, we can do that. If there's anything else you would like to attend to, now's the time to do it. We're still about early afternoon at this point. Not much time went by. Big question, really. You guys are taking up the quest. You can make some plans. But Farley, what are you going to do? That's the big question here. What's going on in that mind of yours? What would you like to
I'm gonna get my dang book back.
The character's useless. I can't even memorize spells anymore. You got your focus spell, don't you?
Yep.
You got that.
So you currently have some prepared right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so if we waited till the next morning to leave out, then you'd be out of luck.
Well, your mind is wiped clean.
Oh.
You don't have anything prepared.
Oh, so I can't.
Oh,
But if you want your focus spell, you can get that. That's a whole different ballgame.
Oh, yeah. Oh, charming words.
Woohoo.
Loving. Yeah.
Uh,
Oh. If I can't Yeah, if I can't cast spells, then I can't do much.
The only thing you could do is try and buy arcane scroll. That's about it. You can read them, but that's gonna be expensive, and you don't have any money. Even with
Nope.
Morlablint, that's spellbook, man.
Yep.
So,
I can't do much.
yeah.
I want to, yes. But can I? Feasibly, no.
Mhm.
Without just being a danger.
So, how do you want to handle this?
That's a good question.
Yeah, that's gonna take some thought.
Ooh.
Are you good friends with Rin? Maybe she could lend you something? Or put an advance, or give you an advance?
It's a good idea. There is
Well,
magical resources here. Like I said, scrolls, but
I wouldn't have anything to write them down. I wouldn't have any way of paying for them. And
I have a writing set.
I'm sorry, what was your name again? I wasn't listening. I was freaking out because I lost my spellbook, which means me, as a wizard, am completely useless right now and having a panic attack. What's your name again?
My name's Elias, and calm down.
No.
I know I'm. I think we're capable. He just like gentlemanly admires his buddy, Lofter, right next to him, and he looks like he can handle a fight. Do you know what we'd be getting into? Why are you so worried?
This is mainly just personal now. Lo- long story short, wizards need their spellbook. I don't have my spellbook. And this is more just a point of pride for me, I guess. I don't know. Like, I want to complete the mission that I was hired to do. If that makes sense. So I do want to help you. I can't, though. Unfortunately, this is a weird situation.
Well, let's find the book first,
Yeah.
and then you'll be able to help.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, as he says this, he unclips the mace off of his belt. This is just a sidearm for me, but you're welcome to borrow it for this if you'd like. It's a simple weapon, so you should be able to swing it.
Or maybe not.
What's your strength?
No, it's not even strength. It's wizards. I don't.
I think you should be able to wield it.
Nope.
It's simple. No, not any simple weapons.
Nope.
Wow.
Yeah, wizards.
Dagger.
Oh, I can do a dagger.
All right. Well, both of them are simple weapons. So.
Yeah. Oh, the wizards have like specific weapons that they can use.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'll let you borrow my dagger. That's no problem.
Yeah. Huzzah! I'm trying to see if cantrips technically fall under the same rule with spellbooks.
I don't believe they do, but I've never played a wizard before, or I've never had a wizard player, so I'm not sure.
There is another option. Rin steps forward, and she can offer you several scrolls of the arcane tradition. She does sell them. And for you, Farley, she would give you a 10% discount. Because at this point, I am going to say that she supports your cause and your efforts in this quest fully. So you're going to have a discount of 10%. You and the heroes. Not you two. You're too new. Elias and Lofter. But yeah, you guys enjoy a 10% discount on such things that she sells. You do have that. You can make a little note of that. And she offers you, well, you take a look and I'll tell you if they have them. Any first level or second level spells you can buy a scroll for. And they typically go for about 10 gold pieces each with discount. So that's if they're second level. If they're first level, it's going to be 4 gold pieces. 3 for you.
And
So, yeah, whatever you can afford, I'll determine if she has it. But you look through the first level spells, Arcane, and I'll see if she has it. And if you want it, pay that price, and you got yourself a scroll. It's consumable. You could do with it what you will. You could save it and put it in a new book that you'd have to buy, or you can just take them and read the scroll. Ha ha! Instant spell. All right, and your mind is wiped clean, so you're empty. So your only option is to get some scrolls, maybe some magical potions in town or whatever. Does she have them? No. She doesn't sell potions, but you know where you can get them. Yeah, you can get some scrolls. That's the best advice she can give you. And she'll offer them to you. She says, I support you, I'll give you a discount. Help you on this little quest of yours as well as my quest. If you want to stick to it. That's up to you. 3 gold pieces per scroll. So you look through those first level spells.
Okay.
And in the interim, take a quick break for like 5 or 10 minutes, you guys. I gotta go downstairs and do my thing, and we'll be back to this while we do this. Do you have any questions yet, Lofter or Rachel?
Nope. Sounds good.
All good?
No, that sounds good. I'm all set.
All right. Takes a short 5 to 10 minute break. You can just sit here and chat or go grab something to eat real quick. All right?
Sounds
Yeah, I'll
good.
be right back myself.
All right. Do you have a think, Patrick? What's going on?
Oh, well, I'm in the situation, unfortunately, requires me to. I don't have any coins, so Rin's gonna have to place some trust in me and be like, okay. I feel bad not only for like Rin, but hey, lend me 4 spell scrolls essentially.
Well, she's not lending you. She's selling them to you. You get a discount because she supports your efforts.
We find the locket, and then you get money for the locket in exchange for scrolls, and then we'll go find the spell book.
Well,
Well,
when I woke up, I had nothing on me.
well, you could always.
Well, you do have the dagger.
You could always try and use diplomacy. You can always try and say, if it would really be helpful, because I have nothing, and maybe lend me something. You could try it. Nothing wrong with that. Don't feel bad about it. That's why you have skills. Yeah, that would be the request action. It's a diplomacy skill action. And depending on the attitudes of the person or persons you are trying to request from, you will have a DC. And
I might be able to help you with that. Let me check my feats again.
get a little meta here. If you think your character really would, ask her.
If I see somebody struggling, I'll definitely help, but I have the cooperative nature feat.
Mm-hmm. And what does that give you?
A +4 circumstance bonus on checks to aid. So maybe I could help convince her. Like we would tag team it.
You could make you can do an aid action.
Exactly, yeah, but I'd get a +4 bonus to said aid to possibly get him a +2 bonus.
Yeah, that's what it comes to. Do that. And then he would make his check, which would be diplomacy. What's your diplomacy like, Patrick? We'll see how effective you are at this request. Hey, give me free stuff.
Yeah, essentially. Right there, so I'm pretty sure it's like a +6 6. It's not too bad, but crafting proficiencies. Diplomacy? Oh, I'm pretty good at diplomacy, actually.
There you go. Let me check the DCs for this.
Well, considering my rolls earlier, I might not.
All right, let's do this. Yeah, okay.
So what would this be? Like a request action under diplomacy?
For you, you're doing the aid. I think you make
Yeah. Well, for him.
For him, it's going to be under the diplomacy. It's the request action. He's going to be making a diplomacy check, a diplomacy roll on a DC that I determine. And I'll get that DC in a second here. I won't tell you what it is, of course. I don't have my screen out, so I'm going to have to look this up. But if you want to make your aid roll, it's kind of like, hey, you know, this is going on and this is going on too, you know. Just tell me exactly what you're requesting. Specifically, what exactly are you trying to do? Convince her to...
Yeah, give me even a spell scroll. Hopefully
Okay.
a couple of spell scrolls to help get my book back.
Okay, you know I'm going to make you role play this depending on your role because I want to know. I want to hear it. I want to see it.
Yeah,
But
that's fine.
let me find the DC, and then I'm going to ask Elias to make the aid roll to determine what kind of modifier you get because she's helping out. You can help out in this.
Where are we at right now?
I have no clue. Looking up, okay, I got that. All right. I'm going to determine the DC for this check. And whether or not it's going to be adjusted. And okay, the DC is determined. Now, the aid roll. I haven't used the aid in a while. In a nutshell, it's a reaction. It's called aid. Anybody can do this. The trigger is an ally is about to use an action that requires a skill check or attack roll. That applies here. Okay. He's about to make a skill check. Requirements. The ally is willing to accept your aid. Farley, are you willing to accept some aid from this new friend, potentially? I'll assume yes.
Yeah.
Don't say anything if you agree.
You had to think about that.
I have to think about it.
I'm not sure. The effect is this. You try to help your ally with a task. To use this reaction, you must first prepare the help, which you're doing. You'll have to describe to me what that looks like. Usually by using an action during your turn. You must explain to the GM exactly how you're trying to help, and they determine whether you can aid your ally. And if it does, when you use your aid reaction, attempt a skill check of your own or attack roll of the same type or a type determined by the GM. The typical DC is 20, but the GM might adjust this DC for particularly hard or easy tasks. The GM can add any relevant traits to your preparatory action, blah, 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 and your aid reaction depending on the situation, or even allow you to aid checks other than skill checks, and so on and so forth. Now, what you're trying to do, this is based on, anybody could do this, but you have something in particular that's going to help you with this, and it's a particular feat. Can you put that in the chat? Short human lifespan lends perspective and has taught you from a young age to set aside differences and work with others to achieve greatness. You gain a +4 circumstance bonus on checks to aid. Period. Enough said. Mic drop. So
Or normally it's a +2, right?
If it's a critical success. If it's a regular success, it's a +1. And if I critically fail, I'm so sorry. It's a -1.
All right, so go ahead and make a d20 roll. Now, describe to me, Elias, how you are going to help him to get some free scrolls, essentially. How are you going to help? What does that sound like or look like?
It's going to sound something like, Rin, have faith in Farley. I can see you have known each other from your body language, and how friendly you are to each other
Yes.
from what he's observed, and I will see to it you are paid, or I don't know what the deal was, if you're going to pay for them later,
I
or
see.
if you're going to return the scrolls. I'm not quite sure what Farley's plan was, but he talks first anyways.
All right, and what's your charisma score?
Mine?
Yeah.
It's a 14.
Okay. All right, I'll let you make the aid because of your charisma. So go ahead and make this. This is a public roll. You're going to make a d20 against the DC I determine, and your success level will determine how much of a modifier he gets, if anything. You can just roll from the dice tray and just add a +4 to the roll.
Yeah, that's what I did. Haha! Yes! That wasn't
Ooh.
great, but
Very good.
yes. I don't know what the DC is, but yes, that was one low than, my highest possible roll.
Farley, you begin this little conversation with Rin. What do you say to her as you attempt this diplomacy check to convince her to allow you some support with scrolls for free and maybe pay back? What you determine the specifics, go for it. And while you're doing this, we'll assume Elias is interjecting and so on and so forth.
So
Yes, my dear.
I calmly set down the teacup and I go, Rin, I know you and Morlablint haven't exactly seen eye to eye in everything, but you know that he'll vouch for my credibility here, that I always fulfill my word. And you've seen what happens when I fulfill my word, is that greatness happens. And I know I'm asking a bit much from you here, but it's time for you to help out the town itself. I'm not asking for much,
So you
but
think this will be of benefit
yeah,
to our cause for the town?
yeah.
I see. Make your roll. You make a diplomacy check, add a +1 for Elias.
Yay!
Interjecting.
All right. So this is going to be.
Straight up.
Do you want this public or blind?
This is public.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh.
So, what is it? Roll d20, and then I get an additional +1 from
Now,
her.
go to your token. Click on your token. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And under skills, you'll see diplomacy. Just click that. And then we'll add a +1 to it. In our brains. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
+24 +1. 25.
Nice work.
Should have the page open. Oh no. Request. All right. Okay, let me think here. Yes, I agree with you. This will be of use for us, but I must request of you. I will have to ask you to pay the full price instead of the discount. I will grant you as many as 2 scrolls. You hear the thud of the dice in the background. But I can grant you as much as 2 scrolls of your choice from a selection that I have. But you must promise me to pay the full price, which is 4 gold each, so 8 gold. When you return safely, that should help
Okay.
you.
Okay. I place both my hands around Rin's and I go, thank you so much, my friend. This will be easy pickings, and if I should find your necklace along the way, or doubloon, not exactly certain.
Don't worry about the necklace, my dear. You find your book and remember, find out what is going on at the Gauntlet. It is greatly important. But I hope this helps you. And then she disappears from the room to gather some scrolls for you to choose from. Yeah, so that's what you got for your efforts. Very good. That was good thinking, you guys. Very good. Good use of the
Teamwork.
aid. Yeah.
Yay.
And what you'll do next is you go through those first level spells and find 2, and I'll determine if they're both available or an alternate, and they're yours. You've got 2 arcane scrolls.
Well, I know one spell I won.
All right, that's another thing. Go on your character sheet and get rid of all those spells. Don't get rid of them, but mark them as cast so we don't forget. Cast them all, and we'll look for these scrolls and drag them to your character sheet.
Elias takes out that piece of paper and scribbles something on it and puts it away.
All right, let me open up a character sheet. And basically, I just drag this to your sheet and add the spell to it. It's nothing complex. You could write it down on paper even. Yeah. All right, let's rename this to Scroll of First. Level spell. I'll replace that level spell with an actual spell. What's your first choice? And I'll determine if she has it.
Shocking Grasp?
Of course.
Yeah.
You
took away my spellbook. You took away my spellbook. How dare you? Oh, of course.
Wow.
It's like the most powerful first level spell.
All right.
In terms of damage output. There's other situation that other spells could.
Okay. I'm going to grab that spell and drag it into the scroll. I'm going to save that so you'll have instant access to it. And I'll also put in the title. Shocking Grasp. So all the information you need about that scroll is right there. Its spell level is 1, so the item level is 1. Yeah. If it was a spell level 2, it would be an item level 3. So this is spell level, or item level 1. 1. Yeah, all the information's there. Okay. So if you open that up in your equipment list, Scroll of First, Shocking Grasp, there's a link in the description for the spell. If you click that, it'll open up the spell, all the details on it. Oh, there's a button here that says Use Scroll of First Shocking Grasp. I guess you just click that, and it'll use the scroll and cast a spell. Man,
Heck yes.
that's pretty convenient. Well, you know you got it. Equip it. And I'll do the same thing with the next spell. First, let me grab another scroll.
Another scroll of shocking grasp. Wow. Wow.
Let me roll dice for this, by the way.
Oh.
I'm going to consult my oracle. All right, she has that one. What's the next spell?
I'm gonna try for magic missile.
That she does not have.
Okay, right on. And on that day, God said no.
Yeah.
You're too powerful. Stop that. Command.
Command?
Yeah.
No.
This
Sorry.
guy's nasty. I don't like him.
Scroll of...
I'll try for burning hands.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Mark
Wow.
of the beast.
So I'll let you have that. All right, so that's item number 1. And let me grab Burning Hands. So while this is all happening, Lofter, the exchange of gifts, as it were, what are you doing? Perhaps you might have left early and agreed to meet folks somewhere while you went out and gathered some equipment that you might need on this journey. Keep in mind, it's still early afternoon, and the Gauntlight itself is maybe a few hours away. It's not that far to walk. Although it's a less traveled route and somewhat dangerous, so you hear, wild animals aplenty. The Gauntlight itself is also a dangerous place to be sure, although it's probably lacking in any treasure. It's been looted long ago, so it's been said. And I'll fill you in on the details once I get this done, before you actually begin this, in case you need to purchase something you feel might be important. For this journey, you have to think about whether or not you're going to sleep there, where you're going to stay. I'm sure Elias will gladly sleep in the ruins, but you'll have to determine that. All right, there. That spell is in your equipment, and it has the spell of Burning Hands in it. All right, Farley, so you're all set. Get those scrolls. Make a note somewhere that you owe her 8 gold pieces. Full price for that. Okay, let's close that down. All right, so essentially what you're being hired to do, she will give you 5 gold pieces. 2.5 now. That's 2 gold pieces, 10 silver, or 5 silver. Or 25 silver. To begin this quest, so write down somebody who's being hired here. Elias, perhaps you love to take notes, I know. 5 gold
Sure,
pieces.
he scribbles it down.
5 gold pieces, and half of that is up front now. Yeah, investigate the Gauntlet and find out what's going on there with that blue glow. And if you care, come around later this evening. If you're still here, maybe you want to make your way off now, and she'll show you what she's talking about with this glow. If your eyes are keen enough to see it. That's up to you. Otherwise, you can head out now on this little investigation. And also, find out what happened to the previous heroes. Farly-Tel's friends, basically. what you do about his spellbook is up to you. That she's not hiring you to do that, but she says, go in there and see if you can help him out. He's a good boy. That kind of thing. And Farley, you're still under your previous obligation, I guess, if you want to maintain it. Pretty much what they're doing as well. But you have no idea where your friends are, so that might be a moot point. You have new friends now, I guess, for the moment. It seems that way. And you've got yourself 2 spell scrolls to help you in your quest. She trusts you. She supports you. And these 2 warriors will accompany you and also see that the task is done if your friends have failed, perhaps been defeated, perished. But be mindful, be careful. Do you tell her about the voices that you heard?
Yeah, I wouldn't have been secretive about anything that would have happened to me because I would have been too, like out of it to even think about hiding anything.
It'd be interesting before we set off. Lofter, what is your character doing right now? Just so I know, you're kind of hovering in the background, but I'm curious.
Yeah.
Because you're seeing all this.
Right. Would have liked to make preparations to go back to the garrison to grab my pack, unless we already did that.
All right.
Trying to remember time wise. Kind of said that before.
If you want, we can assume you did that. You can easily grab any equipment you have, your pack and all that stuff that you already purchased. If there's anything else that you would like to purchase, do that now. Feel free to discuss that.
Yeah.
Does he get paid before he leaves to get his stuff? Or does he have to come back? Because, like, you're telling him, you can go shopping. Well, how much money do I have?
Yeah, I'll definitely let the garrison know that I'll be on leave for a little bit.
Okay. All right. Is there any more preparations you'd like to make? I'm speaking to the group now. No?
I think I'm good.
Elias?
I'm all set.
It's probably mid-afternoon by the time you're all up and about and ready to go. Rin sends you off with her best wishes and coins to fill your purses, and of course, scrolls to give you some confidence, at least, Farly-Tel. Farly, you found these new... Well, you don't really know them, but you kind of have no choice. They're there to help you in a way, but... Well, they are definitely helping you. You get to go back to the Gauntlight and look for your book and your friends. Of course, they're important too. Of course, it goes without saying. But that spell book, that's your lifeblood. You can't afford to lose that book. So much research and toil was put into that book. The words. There's still about 2 or 3 hours of dark left. Now keep this in mind. If you want to continue, it will be dark. Most likely by the time you arrive at the Gauntlet. None of you have been there. Speaking to Lofter, actually. And Farley, you have. You can actually lead the way and perhaps save some time and get there. Although you're probably fatigued. So there's still daylight and you can make your way up the Granary Road, which lies to the east or the west of Otari. It's the only path that lies towards the fog fen. It's a very narrow path, not traveled very often, and you can just get the sense of that the deeper you go into this lonely road, and it gets more narrower and narrower. Fewer travels, hardly any travelers on this route, actually. And in some places, it is actually very congested with trees and shrubs and weeds and overgrown. Dangerous. You get a sense of eyes upon you as you travel. that's very obvious. Creatures, beasts, perhaps. You're careful, though, and darkness sets in. Or it gets closer to darkness, I should say. And finally, after about 2.5 hours finding your way through this path, there, up ahead, it comes within sight. You see the towering 100-foot Gauntlight against the sky, surrounded by ruins that have long since been collapsed in on themselves. Some say from a great battle with the Rose Guard and Belcora. But yet the Gauntlight itself still stands, silhouetted against the night sky. It's getting dark now. Do you proceed? At this point, if anyone would like to take an exploration activity, you can do so. But in general, describe to me, in your own words, not game mechanics, what you are doing and how you are proceeding as you draw closer. It's in sight. Lofter, you lead the way, I assume. And also, what is your marching order? Lofter, are you front?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Do that, and I will pull my shield out.
All right, defend. All right. Means you automatically start any combats with shield raised. All right. How about you, Farly-Tel? You're in the middle, I assume?
Yes, I would love to try and investigate around for any signs of recent movement or activity of any sort, just to see
Okay.
maybe if I can find like some humanoid footprints or the like.
No problem. No problem. You can do that. Grab that on my sheet here. And of course, Elias. Ah, how exciting. Finally, the adventure begins. You've been eager and waiting for this for a long time. You're bringing up the rear now. What are you doing, if anything? Exploration activity?
No, he'll just be following behind, and he'll just keep an alert eye in the back, not really searching for anything in particular, just following along.
All right. Okay. Okay, now you proceed. The water, the fen itself, you can feel and smell its presence. It feels heavy. There's a mist. Darkness is starting to set in. You're going to have to take into consideration light requirements. Farley, you have low light vision. You need light for that to function. I hope somebody has torches.
Elias can take out his torch as it is to get too dark for him to see.
Okay. It lights. Who's carrying this torch? You? Okay, you're in the back. That's okay.
Yeah.
I can carry it. I'm not doing much else.
Yeah. You don't have your magic globes anymore. Nothing.
No. Feel so naked.
Elias hands the lit torch, unless I have to also roll for that. But he'll hand it to you.
I take the torch.
Okay, good. I thought you were leaving him hanging.
No.
He's just holding it like, would you like to? Oh, okay, I'll hold it.
Yeah.
As you approach closer and closer, you can see there's all these ruins that are collapsed in, overgrown with weeds and brush. And it looks like there was some kind of fortress that surrounds that Gauntlet that is still up ahead. But it's surrounded by all this other ruins, like there was a fortress here. You can definitely see evidence of it. And as you follow this path, closer and closer, you get to this one building. It's like almost like a building that was a guardhouse or an entry point to this fortress. And up ahead, you see a portal. And the doors, or what was doors, a barricade perhaps as you draw closer, seems to have fallen in. your light extends into that area. Now, mind you, we're not in complete darkness at the moment, so you can see a little further than your torch actually allows. You might notice that when you look at the map. Every square, of course, is 5 feet. Torches are maxed out at 40 feet. First 20 is bright, next 20 is dim. Except for Farley, who's an elf. It's 40 feet of all bright light for him. That's special. Comes with pointed ears.
Have we had a chance to, like, investigate around or anything? You know, like, I was looking for activity earlier just to see.
Outside of the entry point?
Yeah.
That's right, you were here before. I gotta remember that. If something's different and out of place to you, I'll let you know. You would remember at this point from what you remember. Now, if you remember, you guys originally came here and there was this door that was easy to knock through. It was just rotten and you were easily able to push through.
Yeah.
At this point, it looks open. I mean, you could see into the chamber itself from a distance. But there's no door. It's obviously gone. But there does look like there's debris all scattered around the front of the door and within the door and inside into the chamber, like something was piled up at the doorway, but has since been knocked through. What do you guys want to do? Around you, you see like a pond to the right and to the left. It's almost like the Gauntlight. Well, you can remember this as well, Farley. The Gauntlight was this big central tower within this area, and it's like on an island within the fog fen. So the main structure where the Gauntlight sets is actually on an island. So it's surrounded by this big pool of water that you have to cross a drawbridge. You have to get across that drawbridge, if you remember that little episode, to get in that area. And right now you're on the outskirts. You're on the opposite side of that waterway. This was the entry point that you entered from. I'll let you role play that out and describe that to the players.
So, as we get closer, I alert Lofter, you know, to like slow down his pace a bit, and I alert both of them that across the bridge is about the area that whatever creatures were residing here were had made this place a very well fortified home of theirs, if that makes sense.
Did you clear them out?
We had cleared, for the most part, whatever we came across. We had dispatched of. We had fought against some blue goblin-like creatures, a giant scorpion, some traps with arrows. But other than that, we hadn't. I don't believe we went upstairs at all, like towards the top of the lighthouse. We had actually begun to go down, if I remember correctly.
When you
Okay.
mention the creatures, Elias equips his weapon and his shield.
All right. Well,
Are you defending?
we'll note that.
Yes, I suppose so. After hearing the possible threats he might face inside, yes, he will. He will defend.
Makes sense. From what you remember, Farley, directly ahead was like this little small chamber. You were ambushed. You dealt with them,
Mhm.
and then it was silence. And then you were confronted with this old, rotten drawbridge. You managed to navigate it, thanks to Neb. And you found some creatures on the other side and fought a battle with them. Vicious things. I'll leave that for you to describe in your memory. And then there was that big scorpion, and you just went deeper and deeper. You found the secret passageway, which ultimately led to that another secret chamber that Ramirez found, and that from that point on you don't recall. But you essentially moved forward from your current position, so you do have some idea of what to expect ahead. Yeah, but you'll have to investigate further if you want to learn more information or what's going on. Do you proceed?
Yep,
Okay.
I think we should. Farley, was there anything about this front door here, or what's left of it?
Trying to remember. I'm pretty sure we took care of all the creatures that we knew were there.
As you enter the chambers, I assume you do,
Yep.
right to that point, you cross the portal and you can see what looks like all kinds of smashed in tables and broken wood. Not just a mere door, but it looks like something was piled up here, almost like it was a barricade. Something you've seen many times before, Farley, as well, under Otari. But yeah, it's been pushed aside, bashed through. It hasn't been repaired. It's wide open. And as you peer and enter the room, you could see opposite you, directly ahead, another portal to the north, where it's the similar situation. A barricade was here, and it's been smashed down. Somebody passed through here. To the left, in the corner, in the west portion of it, there's a pile of gray, smelly dung. You could smell it as soon as you enter the chamber. It's coming right from this pile of nastiness. And there's also a few rotting, decaying bodies of some type of small goblin-esque creature. Perhaps a little smaller than a goblin. And that's about it. Yeah, do you proceed, and in what direction?
Yeah, and Farley explains that what you're seeing now is the result of one battle. These were the ones that first ambushed us. We speak honestly for the rest of the creatures inside of the lighthouse. Just tricks and illusions, all for some sort of weird, almost practical joke. But nothing else remains in this room. So I believe we should just head forward.
As you near the second portal to the north, I assume you do.
Yeah.
As you do get closer and closer and closer, Farley, you hear footsteps, voices, and it's coming from the opposite side of the bridge. Shuffling feet, perhaps. Something, somewhere. You could be wrong. It could be more to the right. Definitely opposite you. Nothing impending. Just fades away. You hear it briefly. In your mind.
So I hear that.
You do. Only you.
Oh. Okay. I'm gonna. At that point, I I make a quick motion. I like raise up my fist
Okay.
to like alert you guys to pause for a moment. And I want to take the seek action.
Okay. Where you going? Where you looking?
In the area that I heard the footsteps coming from, I can.
Well,
So
it's a 30-foot area. Now, is it going to be directly across the other side of the bridge, or more to the right on the outside of the passage you're following, or the bridge you're looking? What direction?
probably I would be more drawn towards the right, actually.
Okay, go ahead and make a perception check. Blind GM.
Okay.
What are the rest of you guys doing when you hear him say this? Lofter, what are you doing? Still holding fast in defensive mode?
Yeah, I'll stay defensive.
All right.
You betcha. Yeah, same here.
Okay, let's see what the roll is. You pause. You all remain silent for a short while. Farley takes a look around with his keen eyesight. You don't see anything in the shadows. Nothing stands out. What do you do now? Now, the bridge. You're at the base of the bridge right now. Let me see if there's some flavor text. I'll read it again. I read this to Farley a long time ago. A wooden drawbridge, its timbers gray with age and decay, spans this 20-foot gap between the outbuilding and sprawling ruin on the island. Rusty iron chains hang from the ruin's northern wall opposite you to the drawbridge's southern side where you guys are. The chains look ready to fall apart, however, giving the drawbridge's structural integrity an extra layer of dubiousness. May everybody make a perception check. This is blind.
Trying to roll here. Hold on.
You have to go to your character sheet.
Oh, I found it. Oh, okay, got it.
Okay, I got Farley's. Excellent. Got Lofter's. Lass, you're next. Dink.
You got it?
I got it.
Okay, good.
You're the first to notice this. Lofter. The bridge looks like it has been sabotaged. For underneath it and on the sides, you can see what looks like unnatural saw marks in the wood itself. You all agree. You all can see this as you all look down, your attention drawn to the drawbridge by Lofter. But you all see this. It's very obvious that something, has put cuts in this wood. Still crossable? Perhaps. It isn't all the way through, but it does look a little bit treacherous at the moment. Dubious.
I don't think I'm going to trust it with my weight.
I was thinking the same thing.
I could probably cross it. Well, no, I'm not going to risk that.
What's the drop off down below look like? Can we see that down?
It's only a few feet
Down there.
to the water.
Mm-hmm.
Well, more than a few feet. It's about 4 feet. to the water, and you can't tell how deep it is. You'd have to get closer and take a look.
Farley, were you able to investigate what that water was back then? However long it was.
Let me double check my notes. I'm pretty certain we.
If it's water.
Chief. I do remember it was water. It's swamp-like water, but it is water. I don't believe there was any dangers the last time we investigated it.
Okay. And you were able to cross this bridge okay before it was sabotaged?
We didn't notice any sabotage, but we didn't trust it.
Gotcha. So what did you do?
We just crossed the river.
Okay.
So it looks like you can easily get back up on the other side.
I'm pretty sure that's what we did. We just went through the water.
Well, Elias trusts his word and jumps down below the drawbridge.
Okay. Plump. Plop.
Table flop.
You all follow behind?
Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah.
All right, you splash down without any problem. It's only a few feet drop from where you're standing, and your feet hit the water in the soggy ground, and it smells, and your foot just sinks about 4 or 5, maybe half a foot down into this muck. It'd be difficult ground if you want to continue to traverse. It's over 5 feet span if you want to try and jump that. If you want to investigate how deep the water is, it's too murky to tell by looking. Could be a few feet, could be 10 feet. There's no way to tell.
Elias will jump it.
You try and leap?
Mm-hmm.
Athletics check, I say.
All right.
Give me an athletics check. It can be public. Let's see what you get. As you take a running leap. Rah, rah. Just enough to reach the other side. You start to fall back a little bit, but you manage to catch yourself with the side of the bridge, we'll say. So yeah, you made it across. Didn't fall in. She made
It's
it.
an easy jump, guys. Come on over.
Yeah, right. Let's see where you are. You're on this side, right? Right there? That's where you are? Right? That's where you're jumping from?
I'm jumping from the main area to wherever there's space. So it'd probably be from this square to here, or the 5 feet. I guess this is also 5 feet.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. If everybody else would like to make that jump, what is that on the map? Did somebody put something on there? What is that?
Whoops.
Thank you. All right, so everybody go ahead and make an athletics check. I have the DC. Good luck. You have to exceed, it's about 7+ feet. Go for it. Lofter. Poor Farley. He's not the strongest lot. But you can do so too. Let's see, we get, ooh, somebody got a natural 20. That's Lofter.
Nice.
That was a public roll, by the way.
Yeah, I was meaning to make it public, and I forgot to switch it.
Well, let me share it to everybody. See what you got.
Sure. Nice.
What'd you get?
What is it? Athletics?
Just an athletics check.
Okay. Here we go, guys.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
you have no modifiers in that at all? Nope.
I have a strength
Wow.
of 0, and I'm not trained in it.
All right. Well, you got a 2. You know what that means. But anyway, Elias leads the way. She makes the leap and almost falls back into the water, but she's a good one. She caught herself just in time. Lofter doesn't hesitate. He rushes across through all the muck. Catches a little bit of water, but lands with grace. 3-pointer, in fact. Boom, take that. And of course, Farly-Tel, not to be outshone, he gets a good run of a couple feet and makes it about 4 feet across. You fall straight into the middle of the water with a splash. You sink all the way up to your chest before your feet hit ground. It's about 4 foot deep, or thereabouts, okay? So you're in it. In fact, you actually fall under the water and lift yourself up, so you're soaking wet now. On top of everything else bad today, now you're soaking wet and covered in mud and guck. What do you do? What do you guys do?
I'll pull him up just to get him out. And then just look at his face like, you got my dagger wet. And just turn around.
Okay, you have no problem. You reach out and grab it, and he's able to guide you back in. It's not a big distance, but if you fall in the middle of it, you're going to get soaked. Yeah, Farley, you're all messy again. You all gather on the opposite side alongside Elias. You're all crunched together over there on the other side. Let me get this token out of here. Bink. Come on, delete. There it is. Put you over here. Now, there's not much space here. You're probably from the bridge and a little bit to the right along that direction. But you can pull yourself up onto the other side if you wish. In other words, pull yourself up on top of the bridge if you wish. I should also make mention that you can see what looks like arrow slits along the wall itself. This, if you remember, was a fortress.
What did you say after fortress? You cut out. Sounded like.
I just said there's arrow slits, and remember, this was a fortress.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can pull yourself up, or
Question.
yes.
Farley's the one that fell in the water, right?
Mm-hmm.
How's the torch?
Oh yes, the torch.
Yeah.
We good? Oh no, we're not good. Sorry guys. I didn't say anything. Can I take that back? Somebody use your hero point to take that back. I don't have any more.
I will say that it is closing in on dark, and it will be pitch black soon, within a very short time. So you will have to take that into account. Somebody scratch off a torch. Farley, you don't have anything.
Yeah, I was about to
Oh.
say.
I already gave Farley the torch, and I already took it off my inventory.
Well, it's soaked and useless at this point. You'll have to get out a new one. Let that one maybe dry it off and use it later. Maybe. It's still got pitch on the end. You can try and light it, but it needs to dry. It's soaked.
Well, as soon as the light goes out, Elias is going to try to rummage through his bag and... Well, actually, he doesn't keep them in his bag. He's got them on his side. So he's going to rummage and try to pull out another one.
All right, there you go.
Excellent.
And what are you going to do at this point? You're going to pull yourself up on the bridge. Another option is to check out those arrow slits, maybe peek through things. To the right, you can see what looks like a bridge that spans across the water.
Farley, do you have any recollection of what direction we should head in order to retrieve your spellbook?
We went for the most part. We pretty much went straight in, just no thoughts in our heads.
True adventurer.
Yeah. There you go.
Then yeah, we should probably just climb up onto the bridge,
Okay.
just on that edge part.
All right. Whoever's climbing first, go ahead and give me an athletics check to climb this little short span. That'll be fun. It's a little bit
Lofter,
of a
do you
pull-up.
want to?
Yeah,
Do you
might
want
as
to climb
well.
up first? I'll
And then
hand
if-
you the torch, and then I'll get up.
Sure, and if it breaks, then well, if it breaks under my weight, then it was going to happen. So.
A lot of things could happen here. It's not much to climb, but a lot of things could happen.
Yeah.
So let's see,
Yeah.
Lofter, you're up first, or whoever's up first.
Does it look weak underneath on this side?
Oh my, yes.
Oh no.
Take the try.
All right, I will roll my athletics.
You can make it public.
Yeah, it's public now.
Most of your
8.
rolls will be public, except for
8.
perception-based ones.
Ooh, yeah,
What'd you get?
25.
25, no problem. You easily pull yourself up without putting as much stress on the wood itself. There's not even a creak when you pull yourself up. Who's next?
I guess I'll go. I hand the torch over, and I try lifting myself up.
With a little help from Lofter, I assume?
Yeah, sure. Can I aid?
Yeah, go ahead and make a roll. See if she gets a +1 or whatever.
It's just a D20, right?
Yeah. Your skills. Until I put some tokens on the map, you guys are going to be using your character sheet. Okay.
I tried using the hub.
Yeah, it's not. That only works with the torch, and that doesn't have any stats.
Oh, okay.
They're all 0. All right, you got a 21 plus whatever I decided to give for the aid. You have no problem. He pulls you right up with ease. There's no creak to the wood. And I imagine, Farley, you're having second thoughts about scaling anything at this point. You're soaking wet,
Yeah.
slippery. You're sinking in the mud. The torch is no longer in your hands. What do you do?
I look at both of them and I go uppies.
Well, Elias extends his hand.
Reluctantly, Lofter will reach out.
Uppies, please.
Yeah.
It is. Farley is having. I don't think. No, Farley's had worse days. Not much, but Farley's had worse days. This is like at minimum top 3.
Okay, make your roll.
Yeah, here we go. It's better.
11. No problem. With the help of your friends, they pull you up, and you're safe and sound. And the bridge does not give. You're okay. Now, as you get to the other side, obviously your eyes are drawn to the portal ahead. You notice that it is blocked solid with a barricade. There's no door here, but there is all kinds of rubbish piled up here. This is another little barricade. However, you can peek through it. I'll assume you do so, Lofter, and I'll open that door. And this is what you see up ahead. Now, to pass, you're going to have to move this stuff out of the way, and it'll take a little time. And about this time, we're going to turn on darkness, because it is getting dark. What do you do?
And we're peeking inside?
You can peek over the little... There's the rubbish in front of you, but there's enough room at the top that you could see over it and peek through it. But you'll have to push it all back to be able to pass through. It'll take a little time to clear. It's pretty packed here. It's a little barricade. But you can see over it. Or through it.
I'm raising my shield one more time.
Who wants to hold the torch?
Don't give
Farley?
It to, don't give it to Farley.
Yeah, I a wizard here, no muscles, please. I'll do the heavy lifting of holding the torch, please.
Okay. Then Elias will also take out his weapon and shield again as well.
Right, as you do so, and you pass the torch to Farley?
Yes.
Yes, so Farley has the torch. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and he gladly takes the torch as he rummages through his robes, making sure he still has his 2 scrolls in their cases. Yeah. All right, so you're standing there defensively. What do you want to do?
I will
Kick it
quietly. Oh, the door's still closed, right?
The barricade.
Or
is
the
up.
barricade, yeah.
Did we want to clear the barricade so Farley can look in with his eyes?
Yeah.
His much better eyes than ours, maybe.
Would force open? Is that something you do?
No, this is just an athletics check, depending if you want to be quiet or just want to push through and hack through and just, be done with it.
Yeah.
The main effect here is how long is it going to take?
Okay, so athletics. Let's see here.
Can I
Yes, you can.
aid?
Yes, you can. Well, 2 people can do this check, actually. It's a big enough thing. Clear the whole thing out of the way. Go ahead and make an athletics check as well. 2 of you.
Public?
Public.
Alrighty.
Public rolls are fun.
I accidentally double-clicked it.
Wow.
Darn.
Sorry, I accept first roll.
What a sad roll that was. Roll combination. Okay. You're somewhat noisy about the whole thing, but you do manage to make good work of it in good time. It takes a couple minutes, actually, and it's down and through, and you've got a nice, clear path for all 3 of you to pass through. And I'll step you into the chamber at this point, at least to represent you peeking in, if you don't proceed. And so far, this is what you see. There's a corner to the right. You have to go deeper in to look around it. Do you proceed? Peek around a little bit more? Yes, you do.
Yes.
That's what you see. So as you can see, it's very dark now, and it's also misty. I should point that out. There is mist on this map. I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of dark. But yeah. You see that's rubble fallen in from the ceiling. The stonework has fallen into the chamber. So if there was daylight, there'd actually be daylight in this chamber, but not at the moment. Fallen beams, such. Farley, you recognize this. This is the exact path you and your previous companions took. You remember danger in this chamber. You were very cautious about it. Maybe you could jog your memory. Do you proceed? There's a door on the left. There's also a door on the right. I think you can see those on the map. If you want to proceed to those doors, you can. You could move forward. You also see some steps in the shadowy portion of your light up ahead. I'll move you forward. Steps.
Cautiously move forward.
Okay, the steps are pretty clear. You can see at the moment. There's definitely a door to the left and clearly a door to the right. There seems to be rubble all around it. You'll have to.
Are the doors closed?
The doors are closed.
Yeah, let's look up north a little more.
Okay, you can go past the steps, but you can see where the ceiling has fallen in. Farley, it's at this point you start to remember. There was a secret chamber up ahead to the left, further up ahead, just out of the torchlight, or at the edge of it anyway. You also remember a battle here. I'll leave you to describe this because I don't want to role play this stuff for you, Farley. If you don't remember, you don't remember. So I'm going to leave that to you from this point. But there's no evidence of any bodies. Right about this area right here.
Yeah, I do remember the secret room. I don't remember much about the battle.
Something happened here. You and your friends stood fast and were victorious in the end, but you're sure it happened. But there's no evidence of any bodies or anything. So it's just a dream. You could scale the rubble piles. They're a few foot high. They're rough going through there, but the ceiling fell in, of course. And just ignore that pinging. That's me. And which way would you like to go? This direction or up towards the left side? Over here. Let me ping that. Over here would be the left side. You could go that route too. There's another door there. And if you want, you can stop at those doors and check them out, listen or something.
Elias is just going to check this door. He's going
Oh.
to try turning the knob.
Oh,
He's curious.
Elias heads to the door, to the left. What are the rest of you doing, watching as she...
Go follow over.
Oh, you're gathering close behind. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, give me a... What, you're going to listen to the door, did you say?
Check the door knob. Like, is it locked?
Okay, let me check my notes here. The door, as you approach, it's definitely a door, but it looks rotten. Does not look solid at all. It looks like something anybody, even Farley, could push in. But it does block any vision, so you'll have to put some kind of effort to open it properly. It'll probably just fall apart if you do. If you want to listen, that will be a perception check.
Sure, he'll listen at the door. And you said blind, right?
Yes. 99% of the perception rolls will be blind.
That's fine.
Okay. You all remain quiet and still. Silence. Complete silence. You hear nothing. But you hear nothing on the other side.
I whisper and I say, should we go in? Is this the right way?
Do you remember ever checking this, Farley?
I'm checking over my notes. I'm not the best at taking notes, which is unfortunate.
That's okay. Just if you have any.
I believe we did check. We briefly glanced in this room and saw nothing of interest at the moment, we were more taken aback by the secret room.
Looking at this door, it does jog your memory. Maybe 15 feet further north was that secret door. You remember that. You were the one that figured out what that little secret alcove was. And that's about 15 feet ahead of you, along this wall here. But this door, you don't remember pushing this in and seeing what was beyond. Because the door still stands. You're pretty sure this would cave in, and it's just too rotten. You couldn't keep this intact.
Worth a look, probably.
Yeah.
Elias pushes it open.
As you do, Farly-Tel grabs your shoulder and pulls you out of the way. Let me do this. And with a kick and a thrust, he smashes into the door and howls in pain as he falls backwards on his back. It was too sturdy for him, this rotten door.
I am very weak.
I'm only kidding.
I was going to let you have it, but you can't even
I'm very weak.
Ah. No, I'm sorry. Lofter, you move forward on this door and with ease, you just push it wide open off its hinges and it collapses into just rotten wood before you. Let's open the door and see. Let me move the token in just a little bit so you can see what's going on. As you peek in, Lofter, you can see that chamber. There's a door to your left, the south part of the room. You see a huge pile of rubble in the center. Do you enter the chamber and investigate?
What's the ceiling look like? Or is there a ceiling?
The ceiling's about 10, 12 foot high. The center portion, right in front of you where the rubble has collapsed, it has fallen in. You can just see the open sky above from where you're currently standing.
That's what I thought. Okay. So this isn't part of the tower we're in right now, necessarily. This is like in the outskirts of the building itself.
Yes, this looks like more of the fortress portion.
Yeah, okay.
You'd have to investigate a little bit more to see what this room is about. You can't see the opposite wall. You do see the rubble pile.
Okay.
That's up to you.
We'll kind of move northwest, towards
Going in the room?
over there, yeah.
Okay. The collapsed ceiling at the middle of this room has left ragged holes in the wooden roof above. Rotten tapestries, their designs completely obscured by mold, hang in tatters on the walls around you. Between arrow slits and ruined side tables, the remains of a fancy dining table comes in sight, lies mostly pulverized by the fallen ceiling above. As you get closer into this room and admire all these things, suddenly there is a rumble toward the center of the room in the pile of debris, the fallen ceiling. Let me move you in here a little bit more. You said north?
Northwest, yeah.
All right, you get about that far when suddenly there is this rumble coming from the center of this pile of rubble and debris. You start to see and hear this whirlwind of air and motion in the center of the room. And it starts to funnel like a little mini tornado. It starts to spin and spin and spin, and debris is flying around the room. What are you guys doing? It's about 15 feet from you in the center of the chamber in this big pile, this big mound. Something is happening. Suddenly you start to hear howls, moans and groans, and it seems like it's coming from this funnel, and it's getting louder, and it's getting louder, and the debris is flying and hitting against the walls, and your faces. What do you do?
Make sure my shield is raised.
All right.
Yeah, I'm taking cover
Protect my
underneath
face.
the shield.
Yes.
It's coming from about that position, maybe 5 feet more to the north. But right in there, there's this big whirlwind, and you can just make it out with your torchlight. You can see shapes. There's some kind of entities in this whirlwind. You can't really tell what they are. Everybody can make a nature check for me. This can be public. Go ahead and make a nature check to see if you can identify what these images are in there. Elias, Loftar, you've heard in the past of these scaly, small creatures. Some refer to as kobolds. There's some kind of dragon creature, dragon breed of creature. You swear you see the images of their heads, the shapes of their heads, and the size of them. They look like kobolds. And you could almost make out their colors, even within this mist whirling around. It's like some kind of a whirlwind of ghostly figures and shapes. And at that point, as the debris hits you in the face, and this howling sound, menacing, gets more and more menacing, this shape is growing. We'll end it there, and then we're going to roll initiative next time.
Okay.
Nice.